It was dusk, and I was walking up a gravel path with my good friend Ryan. My son and Ryan's son rode along on their bikes. Ryan and his son continued up the path first towards the hollow between two larger hills which overlooked a valley. I was in the middle, and another man on a bike was riding behind us. In the dream, I knew who he was, but afterwards it was like his identity was kept from me. I knew him to be a friend, though. We all stopped at a plateau overlooking a valley. The sun had set, it was dusk, and it was getting darker. All of a sudden, as we looked across the valley, red and green lasers started to shoot off into the air. It looked like a scene out of a war movie, as if these lasers were tracer rounds. But I also recognized that these lasers were like candlestick bar charts, similar to when you look at the stock market charts. In my dream, I pointed to the valley and said to Ryan, "Look, it's the cryptocurrency system." Some of the lasers dissipated and stopped, while a handful of others shot so high it was like they went through the Earth's atmosphere. After things stopped, we all continued to walk up the trail between the two large hills. We stopped at a cabin in the woods. I recognized it but couldn't place where I remembered it from. I did, however, remember that Ryan was going to office out of this cabin for work. I remember thinking that is weird. I had this dream in the early morning on April 18, 2022. Since that time, several current events that I have noticed have played out in what I would call typologies, similar to the events of the dream. But I don't believe the timeline has completely finished. One of the real-life events that happened was when my friend Ryan met up with me and my son. It was unplanned, and my son was riding his bike that morning as we all walked down a gravel path. Afterward, I realized it was that same day that Hamas attacked Israel, July 23, 10. That same weekend, Bitcoin began to make major moves up and has continued to do so, surpassing its old all-time high price. A month later, Ryan and I went to visit our friend in Tennessee. He was getting baptized and had invited us to be at church with him that day. He lived in a cabin in the Tennessee mountains. These are just a few of the things that seem to have occurred, but I think this timeline is still open, possibly for a few more months.